For the second week in a row, the Broncos win in dominating fashion the final tonight, 30-3 over the Seahawks. Hello and thank you for joining us for the Broncos Postgame Show. Welcome into the Pat Bowlen Fieldhouse. I am Phil Milani, joined in studio by former Broncos safety and current co-host of the Nick and Cecil Show on 104.3 The Fan. It's Nick Ferguson. Nick, thanks for being here, man.
Hey, thank you, Phil. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. What did you think of the game? 30-3. It's just a preseason, but Broncos for 2 weeks in a row look pretty sharp.
Well, the preseason is always exciting, and when you can start out by building that confidence 2 games in a row, considering what we know about Vic Fangio and his record and not making the playoffs, that being a huge issue, to be able to go out, put 2 back-to-back games together and do it in great fashion and get contributions from your young guys and both quarterbacks getting involved.
We got plenty to talk about with the quarterbacks. Plus, this defense has not given up a touchdown in either preseason game. Let's show you some of the highlights here. The opening drive of the game, Justin Simmons proving why he's one of the top safeties in the NFL. Along the sideline there, a toe-tapping interception. This is something that we've seen all camp long. On the ensuing possession, Teddy Bridgewater on 4th and 5 finds Jerry Jeudy. He does it with his legs, 35 yards, and then that sets up this from KJ Hamler, picking up where he left off last week against the Vikings. The Broncos up 7-0 early on. Bradley Chubb making his preseason debut here next drive, showing that he's just fine after foot surgery this offseason, gets the sack. Bridgewater had 2 drives tonight, both ended in touchdowns. Javonte Williams stuffed at the line, then Dalton Reisner. Looks like he kind of took it away from him there. Takes it in for the touchdown, 14-0 Denver in the second. And speaking of rookies, how about Jonathan Cooper? I am Coop with the strip sack. Desean Williams there for the recovery. Cooper missed almost all of the offseason with a heart procedure, and he's been a surprise of camp. He had a sack a little later on in the game. Williams wasn't done, though. Check out this interception. Soft hands on the big fella. Kind of looked like that New England play from last year. Drew Lock played all the way through the third. This here, his best play of the night, improvising to Seth Williams. A nice leap there, 33-yard gain. The Broncos go on to win 30-3 the final. Let's go out to Lumen Field now in Seattle and check in with Eric Dalala.
Thanks, Phil. Yeah, it's all about the quarterbacks here. Teddy Bridgewater, 2 drives, 2 touchdowns. Drew Lock, meanwhile, 5 drives, 9 points on 3 field goals. But context is important. Teddy Bridgewater got to go for a few 4th downs. Drew Lock, meanwhile, working with a second-team offensive line that struggled a little bit early. I still like how Drew Lock responded there at the end of the first half with a long drive. But Teddy Bridgewater has that long throw to Eric Salbert. It really is neck and neck. It's about what you want. If you care about how they do with the first-team offense, both players looked really good. If it's about the second and third-team offenses, then Teddy Bridgewater certainly has the edge through 2 weeks. One more thing to point out, Phil, really impressed with this Broncos defense. Just 3 points allowed. Justin Simmons, an impressive interception, and Bradley Chubb. So good to see him back out there. Got a sack. He's due for a big year.
Thank you very much, Eric. Nick, of course, it's all about the quarterbacks here. What do you see from both Teddy Bridgewater and Drew Lock tonight?
Well, let's start with Teddy. It was all about starting fast and getting this offense into a flow in the rhythm. And being as though Teddy, knowing he's in the quarterback battle and he's going to go out there, no starters for the Seattle Seahawks, but it was all about efficiency, and that's exactly what we saw. And I was wondering, how was Pat Shurmur going to manage both quarterbacks, knowing as though they have 2 different skill sets? But Teddy Bridgewater made the throws that he needed to make, and he managed the game. The throw in the corner towards the end zone, I would like to see the tight end take that ball, hit the pylon, and score, but it was all about ball placement. Poise, calm, anticipation. That is what we come to accept from Teddy Bridgewater. That's what we saw. Now, moving on to Drew. It was a little more difficult this time than the Minnesota game. You're playing against the 2s and 3s, and we thought that maybe Drew would be able to move the ball down the field effectively. A lot of leaning on the run game, but then when you get inside scoring position, I know he was frustrated. Looking at the television copy, looking at his face, Nite Muti steps on his foot. He falls on the ground, scoring opportunity goes away. But the one thing that stood out for me, when Teddy was in the game, I think it was 4th and 5 or it's 4th and less or something like that, Vic Fangio allowed Teddy Bridgewater to continue the drive. Not so much for Drew Lock. I wonder what was going on. I don't know if they were losing confidence in him, but that was something that definitely stuck out to me.
Let's go over just the stats here. Bridgewater, 9 of 11, 105 yards and a touchdown. Lock, 9 of 14, 80 yards, 2 sacks. Obviously, he's playing with the second unit guys. The offensive line maybe a little more difficult out there for him. What do you think? Did you see any separation? I mean, Vic Fangio said it's pretty damn close. Still kind of close, huh?
Well, it's still kind of close. So when we look at it and we say, okay, well, when we look at Teddy Bridgewater, he was under duress. He was able to slide, move in the pocket, find the open receiver. Drew Lock definitely impressed me, definitely improved from what I saw last year, being able to go from his first, second read. There were a couple of plays where I think he had a receiver open, Trinity Benson. On the third down, he decided to throw out to Dante Spencer, incomplete pass. This is where you need to continue the drives. And if you're Vic Fangio, you're looking for someone that can help you win right now. We hear so much about Drew Lock and the upside, but the future may be bright with Drew, but we have to win right now.
Let's hear from both quarterbacks after the game.
I was just out there just doing my job. And my job is to, move the chains, get my unit to the end zone. And, the offensive line did a great job of, protecting the night. Everything starts with those guys. They never get the credit that they deserve. They open holes in the run game. They protect in the pass game. They communicate well. You talk about the crowd for a preseason game. It was pretty loud here in Seattle. Our guys did a good job. Didn't really have any pre-snap procedure penalties or anything like that. So honestly, I was just doing my job, get the ball to our guys, let them make plays, and you see what can happen.
There's always, the human nature of comparison. But no, you got to just take it play by play. And obviously the first play was upsetting, and then that next drive we had to get things going. But, I was glad that I got a 2-minute deal in a game rather than just a practice and being able to go down there and get points like we did. But no, yeah, Teddy did a good job, and it was about me just going out there and making the best each play I got.
All right, there you have it from both Teddy Bridgewater and Drew Lock there. Do you expect an announcement maybe coming up here this week? Do they need to know who the starter is going into this last preseason game?
Well, first of all, let's be totally honest with ourselves. Vic Fangio already knows. We are only the ones that are just kind of waiting for him to deliver the news to us. And here's what I think he should do. Broncos fans are not going to like this, but wait until kickoff before the Giants game to give Joe Judge and his defense much to prepare for. They don't know who they're going to see. All they know, they've been around Pat Shermer. They've seen his system before, but they don't know which quarterback is going to be a starting quarterback. So if I'm Vic, I'm going to keep this one close to the chest, and I'm not going to tell anyone.
That's pretty tough because they're two different kind of quarterbacks. They play two different styles out there. So, maybe that's a good idea, Nick. I like that.
Hey,
like
listen, you want to keep your opponent constantly thinking. So this may be the way to go.
Let's go out to Sydney Jones out at Lumen Field. She's inside the Broncos locker room.
Desean, a fumble, recovery, and an interception. How good does it feel?
It's great, man, just to contribute for the team any shape or form or fashion I can do. That's stopping the run, deflected balls like Bill do, intercepting passes, which is my second one, picking up a fumble, just having fun, man. This year's a great team, man. Like, we just love each other. No matter what, whoever has the hot hand, man, everybody's just happy for each other. Best hands in the league. Are you giving Shelby Harris a run for his money? He passed the torch to me at halftime. He said it's no discussion that I got it, so I think I got it.
What do you think of the defense's overall performance today?
It was great. We held, I think, back-to-back weeks to 3 points, so that's great. They had under 100-yard rushing, so that's what we pride our hat on. It's going good, man. We can tweak some things, get better at some things. They gash us on some runs and quarterback sneaks and things like that. But the sky, like I said earlier, the sky's the limit for this team, man. Not just defense, but offense, special teams, man. It's no drop-off from the ones and the twos. So, man, it's going to be a hell of a year.
Obviously, one more preseason game left. Do you think you've done enough to earn a role in this rotation?
To be honest, man, this league is never enough. Like, what I did today, tomorrow doesn't matter. That's how I feel. I think that's what keeps me in this building. I play every day like I can be cut because I've been cut 10 times. I have brothers that have been cut as many times as I have, and we just push each other every day. You can't get complacent. So, man, and I have a coach that won't let me get complacent, Bill Kolar. So I hope what I'm doing is, it shows that I can be counted on, like last year when I had to start for Mike and things like that. But me, if it's up to me, I don't want to leave this team. I made that known. I love being here. They love me, and this man's awesome. So I love it here.
Well, Desean, looking forward to see what you can do. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
This Broncos defense, we know that that's going to be the strength of this year's team. They're living up to expectations, have not given up a touchdown through 2 preseason games.
Well, even though it's a preseason and we don't want to put too much into it, too high, too low, but you have to look at what the Broncos defense has done. Last season, it was kind of the bend but don't break, get inside the end zone, stiffen up. But I saw a lot of plays from some of the younger guys, which makes me very optimistic being a former defensive player and close. Let's talk about Desean Williams. He was all around the ball, whether it was picking up a fumble, the athletic interception play. I mean, some DBs can't even do that, but you get a big guy to put his eyes and focus on concentration on the ball and make it be big play. Jonathan Cooper. We haven't seen him in camp that much, but he flashed tonight, getting sacks, getting Desean Williams an opportunity to pick up that fumble. You want to make sure you get contributions on the defensive side, and I like what I'm seeing thus far, but can we continue to build on this next week and then week 1 against the Giants?
Takeaway is the big thing, too. 3 of them here tonight against the Seahawks. You played safety. Justin Simmons, boy, he got that big contract, and now he's playing like he deserves it.
Absolutely. When you look at what we saw in tonight's game, it's similar to what we saw in practice this week. Justin Simmons around the ball, I think 3 interceptions in practice. He carries it over, and he's letting everyone know, hey, I took a lot of criticism because people didn't think I was a thumper as far as a safety. That's okay. If I roam the middle of the field between the hashes and get those interceptions and turn the game over and give it back to my offense on the short field, that's why they paid me. And Drew Lock or Teddy, who's ever the starter, they're going to love those types of turnovers.
Yeah, that's a big game-changing type of plays we expect from Justin Simmons. Let's go back out one more time to Sidney Jones inside the Broncos locker room.
2 sacks, forced fumble. How did it feel to get out there?
It felt amazing. I mean, it's just like a dream come true. I've always thought about playing in the NFL and being out here, and I always thought about what it would feel like to get my first sack too. And I mean, it's just an unbelievable feeling. I'm just really happy, really excited right now.
Was this your welcome to the NFL game?
I don't know. I don't know if I would call it that, but I feel like I had a pretty good game. I just want to keep building from here. I just want to keep getting better. I feel like I can still keep going. I feel like there's another level that I could play at, so I just want to keep going.
Obviously, still 1 more preseason game left. What do you want to focus on really next week?
Just improving from this week. I'm going to get on the film, keep learning from the older guys, Chubb, Vaughn, and Malik, and just want to elevate my game, see how much more I can get better from week to week, and just keep improving, take the coaching, and just keep learning. I don't want this to be like a peak or this. I just want this to be a beginning and just keep getting better and better each week.
Do you feel like you've done enough to earn a spot on this roster?
I would say so. I mean, I don't know if that's like completely my focus. It's just going out there and playing as hard as I can, showing the coaches that like I really care about this team, I really care about this program. Whatever they ask of me, I'm willing to do. Special teams, defense, I mean, it doesn't matter. Whatever they ask me to do, I'm willing to do it. I just want to go out there and show that to them and show them that I care and that I'll give 100% effort.
Well, looking forward to seeing you next week against the Rams. Cooper, thanks so much for your time.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much, Sidney. Nick, you are a player in this league for 10 years. We haven't seen Von Miller, Cortland Sutton out there just yet. Do you need some preseason reps to get ready for the regular season?
Well, yeah, you do. But when it comes to these 2 guys, well, these 3 guys, you know what they are. I mean, Bradley Chubb played a little tonight. Cortland Sutton hasn't played at all. And Von Miller, I understand. I mean, you were injured last year, and you don't want to start out your first game on turf. So it makes you wonder, this last preseason game, I call it the Hunger Games. This is where guys are trying to fight for jobs. You don't want to be playing in that game if you're a starter.
Nick, as we wrap this thing here, who else has really shined to you? I mean, I know before we started the show, you mentioned Royce Freeman.
Yeah, Royce Freeman has been spectacular. Mike Boone went out, and I think that gave Royce an opportunity to actually make this roster. And I'm glad that he's showing up offensively, taking the snaps, catching passes out of the backfield. It takes me back to when he played at Oregon. He was a great pass-catching running back out of the backfield. We didn't really see a lot of that last season because Melvin Gordon and Phillip Lindsay. No Phillip Lindsay, no Melvin Gordon in preseason, and it's all been Royce Freeman's show.
Yeah, he's looked pretty good out there. The one negative tonight here, Michael Ojemudia carted off the field with a knee injury, so we'll have to see what his status is here. But the Broncos, 30-3 victory over the Seattle Seahawks. Nick, thanks for coming in, man. Appreciate your time.
Anytime, Phil.
You can catch Nick Ferguson on 104.3 The Fan with Cecil Lammey, weeknights from 7 to 10, 104.3 The Fan.